Welcome to this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. I'm your host, Lia Chang.
I celebrated Women's History Month at the Paley Center for Media in New York City on March 10th, 2025, where nearly 200 guests came to celebrate Asian and AAPI storytelling in film. Serica Storytellers, a programming series dedicated to preserving the legacies of strong leaders hosted by the Serica Initiative, in partnership with the Academy Museum of Motion Picture and Gold House, this sold-out event brought together filmmakers, industry professionals, and cultural leaders to spotlight the voices shaping the future of cinema. The event was sponsored by East West Bank and David and Charlotte Ackert Family Foundation and partnered with Gold House.
What does it mean to be seen, heard, and celebrated?
At the Serica Initiative, we amplify AAPI voices in communities. Through powerful storytelling, dynamic events, and groundbreaking programs, we celebrate leadership, foster cross-cultural connections, and spark meaningful change. Our programs are making a difference. Our work is driven by passion, powered by people like you, and fueled by the belief that together we can create lasting impact. So attend an event, share your story, support our mission, and make it yours.
Amplify Asian Americans with us. Learn more at sericainitiative.org.
The evening kicked off with a reception spanning 2 floors of the center, followed by a panel discussion between Janet Yang, president of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences and trailblazing producer, Chai Vasarhelyi, Academy Award-winning documentary filmmaker for Free Solo and The Rescue, and Amy Homma, director and president of the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. The discussion explored AAPI storytelling, the power of representation, and the evolving landscape of the film industry, which needs continued support from AAPI and Asians everywhere. Janet shared insights into her journey, reflecting on how she has worked to break barriers for Asian creatives in Hollywood. She reflected on her focus on helping Asian storytellers get the funds and tools necessary to make great impact, and how AI will never replace humans in the filmmaking arena. Chai spoke about her experience in filmmaking, her delight in winning an Oscar with her husband, and her passion for highlighting untold narratives. Amy provided a deep dive into how the Academy Museum is preserving and celebrating Asian and AAPI contributions to cinema, ensuring that these stories continue to inspire generations to come. Upcoming exhibitions at the Academy Museum include Director's Inspiration Bong Joon-ho on view from March 23, 2025 to January 2027, and Raising the Lantern, a celebration of Chinese language cinema, curated in part by Janet Yang, which runs from April 10th to May 24th, 2025. Also of note, the Janet Yang Endowment to Celebrate and Preserve Asian and AAPI Filming, a groundbreaking initiative to support the preservation, restoration, and recognition of Asian and AAPI films, ensuring that these stories are not only remembered, but actively celebrated in the global cinematic landscape, which will officially be announced in April. To support or donate to this vital initiative, email Kiara Tinch at ktinch@oscars.org.
Thank you for joining me for this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. Until next time. Welcome to this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. I'm your host, Lia Chang. Today, we are at the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures, but get ready because seat closed. We're headed to Cambodian rock band at the David Henry Hwang Theater. East-West Players tonight, 8 o'clock. See you there. I am so excited to be at the David Henry Hwang Theater, East-West Players, to see Cambodian rock band, and we're going to meet a lot of the cast afterwards.
Yeah, so Cambodian Rock Band is a play that I've had for a long while now. I think I started it almost 10 years ago. And it is a play about a father and a daughter, and about the father's kind of lost history as not only a survivor of the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia, but also the member of a rock band kind of back in the day. And so the play kind of toggles between past and present, between this kind of contemporary father-daughter story and his past in Cambodia of being in the band and kind of how music both endangered and saved his life. So it's a show that has had a long history. It is a show that kind of uniquely for a play has had the same actors kind of throughout many productions, particularly Joe No, who plays the lead.
And who was very instrumental in
Yes.
helping you craft the story.
Yes, yes. He is an actor whose parents actually were survivors of the Khmer Rouge, and he also plays the electric guitar. And kind of we stumbled on this history when we started workshopping the play 10 years ago, and ever since then he's been a huge part of it. He won an Obie for the role back in I think 2020, and he is continuing with the play at East-West Players.
Didn't he also win a Helen Hayes?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. When the show was at Arena in DC. Yeah, so the play itself was inspired by this band Dengue Fever. Like, kind of even before I wrote the play, I got dragged to this outdoor music concert by my friend, and she was like, "You must see this band. They're called Dengue Fever." And kind of as soon as I like heard them, I was like, oh, my like brain exploded a little, because there's just something so infectious and fun and like vibrant about their work. And I went down the rabbit hole of looking into like where does this band come from? What is their inspiration?
Right.
And their music is very deeply inspired by the Cambodian psychedelic rock scene of like the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
And so that became just like a world that I wanted to explore.
Right.
Because so many of those musicians of the original era kind kind of were rocking along and kind of got targeted. Many of them died once the Khmer Rouge came to power.
Right.
And so it's kind of this like lost musical history that I really responded to. Because also just like it was a play that initially just like started as a straight play, and then gradually as it developed, more and more music got infused into it. And it's a lot of like songs that I just loved as a listener, but they're also songs I think that are meaningful, you know, and have history with Joe and his family.
I am so excited to be here with you guys at the David Henry Hwang Theater, East West Players, Cambodian Rock Band. I'm so glad that you got extended till the 23rd. Everybody needs to come see the show. You're here until the 23rd. But there's something else that's really exciting that you're doing.
Yes, we are fundraising for an archival video that will preserve this production in perpetuity and can be made available to the public. We have smashed our initial goal, which is just incredible. Thank you, everyone. And we've like almost reached our stretch goal, which is crazy, which is how we're gonna pay everybody the overtime to film this. So, Tim, Jane.
So I haven't looked at. I haven't looked at what the numbers are, so we're gonna check right now.
Here we go. Ready?
22.
Wow! 22,000!
Because we were at 21. So 20. This afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 22.
That's amazing.
archive of this production. And we have smashed our initial goal, which is just ridiculous. So our stretch goal, we are so close, which is going to get everybody pinging. If you head to our Instagram at Cambodian Rock Band and go to the link in the bio, you can donate just any little bit counts. So please check us out. We would really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining me for this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. Until next time.
On this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang, I'm taking you inside the AANHPI Community Night for SUMO, written by Mayi Theater Company's 2024 Toe Foundation resident playwright Lisa Sanai Dring, and directed by Obie Award winner Ralph B. Pena. After the show, author Ryan Lee Wong moderated a discussion on masculinity, physicality, and its political impacts, featuring panelists Assemblymember Ron Kim, playwright Lisa Sanai Dring, and SUMO consultant and co-fight director James Yagashi. The complete cast of SUMO includes Chris Bono, Red Concepcion, Akira Fukui, Michael Hisamoto, Ahmad Kamal, Earl T. Kim, Hank Lin, Hao Wen Liu, David Shi, Scott Keiji Takeda, Paco Tolson, and Viet Vo.
So we wanted to have a conversation tonight about masculinity, physicality, and the political implications of those things. And I actually want to start it with you, Lisa. One of the things that was so impactful about this play was the way you really depicted that narrow line between tenderness and abuse, between a father figure and a patriarch. Can you talk about just how you got into this hyper-masculine world and got into the psyches of these men who are all struggling, to me, among other things, with manhood itself, with how to be a man?
Yeah, thank you. I started to write this play because I felt like I didn't understand men. And I was like, I don't know how to write them, I don't know what they're up to. And then it was like, picture me at McDowell, which is a writer's colony, like listening to podcasts of like men talking about man things and being like, what are you doing? So, and I still feel like, I don't still, but I wanted to be curious about them. And I also wanted to look at the other with a lens of love and also criticism. And so I think if I am successful at engaging with those different sides, it's because my lens, I've asked for myself to have a lens that is varied as well. Meaning like, I can see some things that I'm critical of, but also some things I really admire and respect. And some things I'm really alienated by and also find so beautiful. And then also this process, like this text more than any other, I think, needed workshops and embodiment to find out what it was, because the fighting and the staging are so much a part of the meaning of the piece. It's not just a textual piece. And so being around these collaborators, many of whom are men, and women and non-binary people, have also given me such deep lessons in how masculine energy moves. So I think as I wrote the text, it wasn't just like, oh, the play is telling us what is going on. I'm also like observing how like men move together in a rehearsal space.
That's amazing. So that's a great lead to my next question for James. You know, I was really struck by something you said in one of the videos leading up to the opening night, which was this play was all about getting people to drop their center of gravity. And one of the big themes in this play is just bodies. You know, the power of bodies, what bodies represent, the bigness of bodies representing something. So can you just talk about, you know, working with these very particular bodies and pulling off these scenes that where each scene had so much emotional meaning and emotional weight?
Yeah. It is a physical show, isn't it? And we cast phenomenally grand men to embody SUMO, which is so close to the Japanese identity, which I think, you know, Lisa explained so beautifully throughout the piece. But you know, I grew up in Japan, and my mother's American, my dad's Japanese, and my adult life has been in the U.S. And there's a stereotype of SUMO as just like these big men bumping up against each other, you know, like, and a lot of people, a lot of Americans that I've spoken with are kind of like turned off by the idea because they think, oh, it's ugly, they like to see all that flesh on display or whatever. And that was such actually a foreign concept to me, because my perception of SUMO is just an incredible, what's the word? These, and Lisa says, godlike creatures, almost like these awesome men doing unbelievable things, you know, with only their selves. They have nothing on except the mawashi. They're naked, you know. The ceremonies that they do, like some of the like the chichos and the jodan no kamae, which they do, where they open their arms like this. It's signifying that they have no weapons. They carry nothing but themselves. And so when working with the actors, there's like this. I wanted them to sort of own this magnificent gift that they have, which is these huge bodies. And one of the things that I talked, I think, a lot with them in preparation was that in the West we have sort of this preconception of strength or physical strength that is like a reverse triangle, that's like very, very strong upper body, broad shoulders, big, I'm sorry, I'm like, big upper body, you know, take it out. And then it kind of it trims down to like a narrow waist and whatever, and it's very reflective of Western culture, which is intellectual and kind of top heavy in how we relate to the world, as opposed to in the East, you know, you look at strength as a right side up triangle. So the strength dwells in your center. And the closer you are to Earth, the stronger you can be. It reflects a very sort of, I think, fundamentally different way of understanding strength. And you see that very clearly in SUMO.
Thank you for joining me for this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. Until next time.